And welcome everyone. Welcome to the show. I have with me here. I like that intro. It's kind of soothing.
Subtle.
It's kind of tranquilo, right? Kind of calm everybody down. A nice, easy flow in. I certainly need it from my own 100 miles an hour, A-type kind of personality. I really enjoyed it. But welcome, guys, to the show. Welcome to the preview show for the City versus Real Madrid semi-final Champions League. Tomorrow's game. I'm excited about being able to be here, man. How are you guys doing? Vader, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I liked all the activity that happened over the weekend with regards to the EPL and how Manchester City handled business, and obviously entertained based off of some of those updates I was seeing in that Liverpool match. But all in all, expected, man. It's just about City handling business, and now it's Champions League to handle business.
Yeah, baby, it's all about Champions League. About the weekend's game. Just a quick point about that, Patrick. Coming to you. So I mean, to be really serious. I mean, let's be really, really serious here, right? I mean, seriously, there's a problem with the Premier League and the PGMOL. There's a real problem because what we're seeing, in my opinion, this is my opinion. It's not Patrick's opinion. This is not the pitch point. It's just me. There's something not right about what's going on. I have Liverpool friends who are in the US here. We talked about it after the game. Even they were saying that something's not right. It's either corruption or it's incompetence. It just doesn't make any sense. Something is not right with the game. What's going on, Patrick? An introduction to you.
Look, for me, what's up, Patrick, in the comment. Look, for me, that's Ricky, I think so. So what's up to you, man? To me, I'm not blaming anybody. Obviously, I'm blaming the Premier League. I'm not blaming Liverpool. It's not Liverpool's fault. It's not even Liverpool's fault that they get those calls at Anfield. Like, it's not that fault. They don't. Nobody should sit here. Especially, I'm not talking about us, but people on people watching, because some people are saying, "Oh, these guys are paying refs." No, nobody's paying refs. It's the refs that are incompetent, and it's the refs that pick which ground to go and perform like that. The same way they went to the Atletico Madrid game where they say, "Oh, it's a scary stadium," or the Bernabeu is a scary stadium, or the Camp Nou is scary. You know, where back in the days they did the Van Persie thing where Van Persie shot the ball while he was offside and they gave him a red. Remember? Because it was his second card. Those things happen because of refs. And yes, behind the refs, we know there's organizations that I'm saying it's those organizations that should be blamed. I think, yes, Liverpool got away with it, but we also got away with it with the handball with Everton. That's a handball. I saw it multiple times the other day. It is, but whose fault is that? I think it's the Premier League's fault. They want a title race, that desperate, that, let's get a title race here. Let's make sure this team wins, because they knew yesterday that what if Liverpool are 4 points behind or 3 points? Maybe they'll get demotivated and just give up. So everybody has to just be honest. Everybody has got very dodgy calls, but yesterday I think they took it to a next level.
Yeah.
The level was too much. You can get away with one or two, but if you start getting away with a bit too much and obvious ones, and now they want to fine Lampard because he said the truth. He said the truth. You clipped the guy in the box. So I don't know, man. You gave us advice at the beginning of the season when we met that we don't have to look at other teams to do us a favor. We don't have to look at the Premier League to do us a favor. We just have to do the job ourselves. So right now, I'm in that mode. We're just going to have to do the job ourselves. I don't know what Vader thinks on this.
Well, just two quick things. I mean, Vader, coming to you next. So the two things I will say, and I'll keep this topic off, and Vader can wrap it up for us. Okay? Everybody needs to understand there are no coincidences. And what I mean by that is the fact that Stuart Atwell has never reffed a derby game between Everton and Liverpool, right? Never, ever, right? And this was his first time. Tells you the organization behind them know exactly what they're doing. They pick him. Michael Oliver was available to be there. Michael Oliver is a guy who normally goes there for the big games, like the derby games, or Anthony Taylor. Those are the two best referees in England, right? They picked this guy who was a verging referee in a Merseyside derby, and he buckled two decisions because they know exactly what they're doing. They know he doesn't have the balls to make those calls against that crowd. And the person who was the VAR was the same guy who didn't give Milner a second yellow to send him off when he fouled Bernardo in October against City. So these guys know exactly what they're doing. And the funny thing is that they think that we don't see it. We see it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Vader, wrap this up for us while we go to the actual topic that we.
Yeah, I just think that the problem is when you have like the one major error by a referee, whether it's late in the game, early in the game, or it's crucial, we get it. But when it's a series of errors, a comedy of errors within the same match, that's where everyone's antennas go up and everyone's on high alert. And unfortunately, it's unavoidable to not be scrutinized in this day and age with the amount of cameras that are available. So when it's missed by a team that's supposed to be looking at cameras and supposed to be catching these things, and they're not, you can understand a fan base, neutral or not, being like, what the heck's going on?
Absolutely. And so we just have to back ourselves. There's 5 games left. Let's go get 15 points and then call this a day. Let's talk about the game coming up tomorrow. Patrick, what did you hear in the press conference from Pep? Give us some highlights of what you heard, man.
Okay, so basically, right, straight off the bat, welcome to everybody and everybody who's watching. Hopefully you share this, you subscribe to Better Games, you subscribe to Pitch Point, subscribe to True City Fan. Show us some love, guys. Show us some love. We're here these days, but before I start off, these days, guys, we're here for you every week. Before we used to be complicated, but me, Veda, and Carl, we're here every week for you guys. So show us some love, man. All we want is some love. Nothing else but some love. Look, Pep was making a few jokes. He said Gabriel Jesus can play anywhere, including right back. That's another one. And then he said Walker and Stones are not, he's not sure how they are feeling. Then he said, we'll see, they might train today. But the videos from training because everybody was looking for the videos from training because I think it was Sam Lee or somebody who asked him. So Jack posted it. I think all of them were so anxious to see if he's playing mind games. They found out that no, Walker and Stones are not there unless they have them hidden inside. I don't know if he does that. Look, I've seen coaches do this, but that was other leagues, but like not high class leagues where they hide somebody and make them train in the gym and boom, Walker is on that stage. But if Pep does this, well, it's a surprise, but I doubt it because I have seen in the past where he said so and so is not fit. They've got niggas like Ake and Ake's out training. So I think this one we shouldn't be expecting a surprise. I think John Stones and Walker are not fit enough to play tomorrow. So that's one of the points. Then another point which a lot of City fans might find interesting, especially City fans from Jamaica, is Raheem was asked about his contract, but he was very professional. Unlike, no offense to Fernandinho, where he just straight up said, I'm leaving. Raheem answered the question the way you're supposed to answer it by saying, I'm not going to talk about my contract right now. It would be selfish of me, because we have got a very serious game. And then Raheem was even quoted saying that we know who Madrid are. They're able to come back in games, but we're sure of ourselves. So basically, the boys seem to be sure of themselves that they can be able to take on this Madrid side. As Tevez said, also Tevez has made a comment. It's on Twitter. He says, back in the days, we used to worry about Madrid, Barcelona. Now Madrid has to worry about ManCity. So it's changed. Things have changed. So that's the things I got from the press. The rest of the stuff is the usual stuff. You know what I mean? They try to throw in a few things about transfers, but that was the main stuff.
Yeah. And we want to welcome all those that watching us online. Ricky, Patrick Abu, welcome back. Kayla, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Ryan, fantastic, man. Thanks for joining us. Kayla, again, thanks for joining us. Just some good comments here. Ryan says that it'll be tricky against Real Madrid, but I believe City can beat Real Madrid. But this could go either way. Depends what is our biggest threat. Yeah, so one of the things that in preparation for this show, for you guys, right? Patrick and I spent probably 15 hours. We watched Real Madrid 15 hours of games, all their games. Watched all their games in Champions League. We watched the game against City. We went back even to 2000 and what was it, 2014, 15 when we played them in semi-final.
The Mangala on goal. There was a draw, then Mangala scored an own goal for 1-0.
One. I watched one in LA where we played them 4-1. We watched one. We watched all their games against us and some more.
Is the LA one the one Foden and Brahim Diaz scored?
Yes.
So you guys went back and watched footage before Pep was here.
Yes.
Okay.
We watched everything. Watch everything. Literally everything. We've studied them, we looked at the players, and we think we have a good idea of at least how City are going to line up and what Real Madrid can do or what they can't do. And so what we're going to do in the show later on is actually show you what we think the formation is going to be and what Patrick and I learned from the games City have played and what we think the solution to the right back is going to be. Because we have an idea what it's going to be. And we'll show you pictures, we show you detail about what we think is going to end up happening. Okay? Let's get some comments right here. Mo Salah is running down the wing. Okay, so, okay. Moving on.
I think that's a Liverpool chat song.
I've moved on. Yeah. I've moved on. Let's see. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks for all the messages, by the way.
We'll definitely. Thanks for all the messages coming in, guys. So to Kayla and his Liverpool fans, if you want to be a child, you can go to the Echo. If you want to have a serious discussion, you can come here. We don't do this. We don't do this stuff over here, guys. We just really talk about serious business. So let's talk about the strengths of Real Madrid. So one of the things that I learned from watching the videos over and over again is that what they do well is, and how they score, guys, is literally balls coming in wide, passing through the middle for Benzema to score. If you remember the goal that they scored against us at home 2 years ago at the Etihad, when Benzema scored, the ball came from the right-hand side, which was Cancelo's left-hand side. Cancelo didn't tackle. Valverde crossed the ball, and guess who was there to head the ball in? Benzema. Yeah. Against Chelsea, the goals are scored at Stamford Bridge. Guess what happened? How did he score? Ball came in from Vinicius Jr. He heads the ball in. The third goal, again, the second goal comes from the left-hand side. Ball crosses in, and he scores the goal in. Third goal was the keeper error. So very clearly, all the time, the way the score goes is by crossing from midfield or from the wings all the way into the central areas for Benzema to go score a goal. Okay? That's what I noticed of how they score most of their goals in the Champions League this year, particularly against English teams who have fullbacks who are not ready to press and win the ball back. Vader, I mean, what do you think? What do you think? That's the strength I see, at least, that they will play against us.
Yeah, it's very consistent, even with regards to my recent memory watching them play against Chelsea and their approach to getting back, not necessarily getting back into the tie, but taking advantage of that first leg against Chelsea, as well as getting back into the match to win off of aggregate against Chelsea. I think when you have a player like Benzema, it makes absolute sense that the majority of the team are looking for him. He's been a quality striker for many years, so I understand him being as a focal point. I'm not worried with regards to that as their approach. What I am worried about is maybe the occasional breakdown that may happen in terms of transition, lost possession, or not a spontaneous but a quick attack where they're able to maybe take advantage of the speed that they have along the wings. But I won't get ahead of myself. But yeah, what you're breaking down makes perfect sense. And why would you not focus on Benzema? He's on fire.
Yeah.
No, one thing we should watch out for. Sorry. One thing we should watch out for is remember the time when we played Spurs, and there was rumors that our players were concerned that how are we going to follow Harry Kane because he keeps dropping in.
Yeah.
They should be very careful with Benzema. Sometimes he does what Harry Kane does. He does it. Trust me, he drops into, and obviously we've put Kane on ice before where he had no shot. But when he's picks to do that, I don't understand what baffled me, especially with the Spurs game, is when they were asking each other what should we do. Like, don't these players like watch videos? Like, I get what they mean, but maybe when you get outclassed, you get out tactic. So, but they should be careful because Benzema does the same thing, and Vinicius is his outlet. But now it's not only Vinicius. What has happened is Rodrigo is on fire. Also, Rodrigo from the other wing is on fire. Mm-hmm. So Benzema if he's not getting any joy, he drops back in. Vinicius and Rodrigo will try go in, and he'll try look the ball or do 1-2 passes. So if you also, especially Vinicius, if we find a way to shut up Vinicius, that's the guy who shut up Vinicius and Modric. Those are the two people who seem to connect very well with Benzema in this team. That's what I have seen. And I saw it in the Chelsea game when the Vinicius was running riot. That's when they got skinned. But I noticed that in that second leg, Tuchel found a way to shut down Vinicius for a while. That's why they were able to nullify him. But we have to be careful with the dropping in of Benzema. I don't know what you saw, Carl, yourself.
Yeah, so my third comment here was Madrid may try to play a back three like Tottenham and counter-attack with balls over top, with Benzema playing that Kane role, feeding two wide runners left and right. That was my comment that I put down on paper right now. The way Tuchel shut them down, right, in Madrid after 60 minutes when they was two things: control and run them ragged. That's what Tuchel did. Chelsea were able to control with sharp, crisp movement and passing, no errors. They kept pressing and winning the ball back and recycling and repassing, and they were faster and faster and faster and faster. Madrid couldn't keep up. It was 3-0. If you go 3-0 against City, you're finished because all they do is pile on pressure, right? It was 3-0. PSG did the same thing for 60 minutes. They put the same pressure, the same speed of passing, controlled the midfield, but then lost concentration after a while, which is what Chelsea did. So how do you beat them? Control and speed. You have to have your guys who can run and run and run, which is why I think Foden was rested, which is why I think that Jesus didn't play the other leg, and I think they're going to have a real role to play in this game on Tuesday. But you have to run. Yeah. You're going to have to run. If you can't run against Madrid, you're going to get killed. Just come to you, Vader. I watched the Madrid-Sevilla game. Sevilla were battering them until the referee again made a corrupt action by not giving a red card to Camavinga because he was too scared to send off a Madrid player. Should have been a second yellow, and it should have been off. But again, referees in this day and age, either something's happening to them, they're either incompetent or corrupt. Didn't give a second yellow, and guess what? It gave Martial the yellow instead of giving Camavinga the yellow.
Okay.
And from that moment on, the game changed because Martial was now off the field. They couldn't run again. But Sevilla, 2-0, they were battering them in their own half. And the referee killed the game. Vader.
I'll say what gives a lot of promise is when we do look at what Real Madrid, how they performed against Chelsea and how they performed against PSG. The fact that those two teams were in very good control against Real Madrid, and it's not like Real Madrid was killing either of them. Yes, they've advanced, deservingly so, but they didn't kill them. And neither of those teams, more so PSG, don't play with the same courage and bravery that we do. The amount of running that's going to take place from the midfield, the amount of actually defensive support that we provide from the wing play, they don't do. So I think the analogy that I often use with regards to Manchester City, and we're like a boa constrictor. We like to pin our opponent, we like to close them in, and then we like to apply pressure. Every inch they give up, we take. And I think throughout the course of the game, Manchester City can have the advantage that it needs. The midfield's going to be absolute key. And the players that were rested from our APL match are going to be so important for this leg. And then at the same time, we have the threats for when we do have possession, or when we do have possession, we can also control how we play defensively, retaining the ball. And I think we can execute a very well-controlled first leg, especially at the Etihad.
Absolutely. Ricky, thanks for your comments right here. And so let's get into let's talk about formations. And what I'm going to show you guys 4 or 5 pictures. We're going to talk about the lineup, what we think the lineup's going to be, and then we'll explain why we think the lineup's going to be like that. Okay. So hold on, guys. I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me. and we're going to show you what we think the lineup is going to be, and then we'll talk about. Let me see. Let me know if you can see my screen. Just a moment.
Yeah. While you do that, Carl, I was actually surprised to hear that you guys saw Real Madrid execute 3 at the back. Was that an example that you saw often in some of your playbacks?
No, I mean, we didn't see him often. I mean, they played more of a 4-3-3.
Okay.
But I think the issue is that how do you match Bernardo, Rodri, and De Bruyne versus Kroos? Bernardo, Rodri, and De Bruyne versus Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro. I mean, the energy levels.
Got it.
Just 3 versus 3. You're not going to beat that midfield of these 3 with a playing 3 in the midfield. You're just not.
I understand. Okay.
You're just not gonna. It's just so you have to adapt. Which Ancelotti may do, and he's been known to play a back 3 once in a while. But here's what we're talking about. And then Patrick, if you see the comments on the side, just kind of read them out or share them if you can. We think Edison's going to start, right? Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. We think it's going to be Laporte and Diaz unless Stones makes a miraculous recovery. We think I'm worried about Diaz more than Laporte. I think Diaz has shown that he can switch off the season. Hopefully, last year's Diaz will come back. Okay. We know Rodri's going to hold. Yeah, we think De Bruyne and Bernard are going to play because he didn't play last game much, and then De Bruyne was rested, and these are the 3 I think who are going to dominate midfield. The left back, it's probably going to be Ake or Zinchenko because Cancelo is suspended for 1 game, and we don't think Esbrand is good enough to play at this level at this point in time. So we think it's going to be Ake or Zinchenko. What do you guys think about this happening? Is Zinchenko or Ake?
I think it will be Ake. I think just based off of his recent form, how much he's been trusted by Pep, and the confidence that he's shown while playing, he hasn't missed a beat, and he does. I mean, it's deceptive, but he's got pace. So I think him being there would be a very reliable choice at left back. What do you think, Patrick?
I don't know. For me, he's been very reliable, but it's for me, it's very difficult right now with the 4 backs not there. I would have really enjoyed if this match was played with everybody with a full team. But anyway, it is life. It happened, and I'm pretty sure Atletico Madrid, that's what they were after. That was the mission. That if we haven't made it, I hope you make it with suspended players. You make it with injured players. So for now, look, for me, Ake would be a great choice. I still wouldn't put it past Zinchenko, but maybe we'll look at another graph because I'm pretty sure maybe you've got more graphs. But look, Ake would be a solid choice, and maybe having Ake there would give us a risk to play somebody like Egan, who's just a young 4-back, because Diaz will look after him, and maybe that they can be. Ake doesn't have to go in front, doesn't have to bomb in front.
Yeah.
Obviously, we lose on the attack with Ake. But maybe Egan can be told, because I saw Egan was attacking in the Sporting game, and it looks like there's a bit of skills. So I don't know. That's just my thought on everything.
Yeah, Patrick, we'll talk about the right side. I'm going to leave that to the last because it's the reason why we have this on the right, and I want to build up the case for that right side. But the reason why I kind of thought Ake was because Ake is faster than Zinchenko. Not even the question. Speed. He's a better defender than Zinchenko. Right, and the first leg you always want to you don't want to lose. You always want to preserve. The reason why Chelsea got kicked out of the Champions League was because of their first leg, because they conceded 3 goals. Because somehow the back 3 wasn't working, the back 4 wasn't working, and Benzema was able to score. Right, if Chelsea did not lose that first game, Chelsea go through. We're playing Chelsea right now. So for me, Ake is faster than Zinchenko. Yes, he's not as creative, but then you have the creative players of Bernardo and De Bruyne and Rodri and Sterling, who can overload the left side of the field and stop that area. And I explain what I mean by that, right? We talk about the false 9 being not just a person, but a positional play. And when we play the false 9 really, really well, right, we always overload one side of the field, which is always the left side, because we want to dominate that side and drag everybody over there and create space on the right side. What that also does for us when we overload the left side is that there's less pressure on the right because all the other guys are tucking in centrally to cover. You following me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you overload one side, everybody gets dragged there because there's so much problems, and then the right side that you have a problem with is not covered because you have cover right there. And I'll show you the example of what's in a video I saw.
You have a question here, Carl. Sorry, you've got a question here. You're the one who can click them. None of us can click. So you've got a question in the comments.
Yeah. Just read out the comments. I mean, I don't want to leave my. I don't want to.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
What was the question, Patrick?
Oh no, you're the only one who's got the power to click on the comment.
Just read it. Just read it out loud.
Just read it out. I don't want.
Okay. Okay. Do you think it will be a back three and then Rodri and Fernandinho?
No, it won't be
that is why we tried it to be
It won't be a back three.
I think that's why we tried it with Watford. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Right. I think here's what he's going to do. Right, and it's going to be a 4-1, 3.5-2. A 4-1, 3.5, and 2. A 4-1, 3.5, and 2. The half here, right, is Jesus, who's going to have 2 roles. His role here, in my opinion, is going to be one where he's going to help cover the right back, but also attack as well. And then Sterling and Foden will be the 2, but it's going to be a 4-1, 3.5, 2. Now, here's what I mean by that. Let me explain why I think it's going to be a 3.5, 2. Let's go to, and forgive me guys, I'm going to just walk through this very slowly so we all are on the same page. So we're all kind of following and we're all doing this. 2 years ago when we played Real Madrid, okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, very good. We were away at the Santiago Bernabeu. This was in 1990. We played Real Madrid away. Do you remember what Jesus' role was in that game?
He was a presser, actually.
He was the left-sided midfielder / half that was covering who? Mendy.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
Jesus was playing this weird role where he was basically moving forward, coming back, but covering Benjamin Mendy because Benjamin Mendy was weak on that side. And they had Valverde, who was on that side trying to cross balls in. No attack, no sustainable attack came from the right side. The goal they scored came from the left side because Mahrez and Otamendi had a boo-boo. Right? Jesus was so good. He got man of the match and he got the goal. And he got almost sent off because he was able not just to nullify Real Madrid on the left side, but also help out Mendy, but also attack.
Yeah, his pressing was incredible.
His pressing was incredible, which is what he does. So what we're saying, guys, is that we think that because we don't have Walker in the game, assume we don't have Walker in the game, Jesus will end up playing that same role again in the game tomorrow to help out either Egan O'Reilly or Fernandinho, which is a question, which one's going to end up playing. I would rather we have Egan O'Reilly because he has the speed, right? But then Fernandinho has the experience. But Jesus is going to have a role. His role will be to play that same half back, half attack to help cover the right side of the field. Mm-hmm. And then we have the control of Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Rodri, and then we have Foden and Sterling. Here's why I say it's important for this to happen. You know why, guys? Because it's happened before this season. Guess what game it happened in? Let me show you again. Let's go back to the data. Everything we do, guys, on this channel with our 2 friends is all based on data. We don't do this bullshit talking, trolling. We don't do that stuff here. We go by data. We go by facts. Can you see my screen, Patrick and Vader?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the game that we played against Sporting at home. Who was missing at right back for Sporting at home?
Our key guys. Walker was gone.
Walker was gone because
suspension.
Of
yeah.
Who came in for Walker on the right side?
John Stones.
No.
No, it was Riley.
Which one? Home or away?
At home.
Egan. That's Egan.
Egan Riley came for Walker at home. Okay.
Loved his debut.
Right, and Egan played where? Right back. Right, Patrick. Right, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Vader. Who is this guy right here?
Yeah, that's Jesus.
Wait a minute. That's Jesus. He's playing the right side, and get what part of the field is on. Look at the white line, right? That's the halfway line. What is he inclined to do here? Is he attacking or is he defending or defending?
Yeah, he's playing a supporting role. So yeah, he's in
He's
defense
playing the
mode here.
supporting
Yeah.
role to cover for Egan Riley at the right back. Because all the other strikers are up front, the front three are up front. Can you see that?
Mhm.
He's playing more of a deeper role. And the ball is right here in the semicircle. I'm going to show you another video that the ball goes up more front, and notice the role of Jesus once the ball goes forward. Let me show you the next drop. Again, guys, this is all video analysis. This is not just us talking shit from, trolling and stuff. This is all video analysis. Okay? Next to it, the ball's on this side. Look at Jesus again. Look at Egan. Look at the space. Again, covering. In case this guy makes a move, Jesus can what? Cover.
Yeah.
On the right side, Jesus, Egan Riley, Stones, and Laporte. Balls on the right side. What side of the field are we overloading, guys?
Left.
Left
The
side.
left side of the field. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the left side of the field. And there's a big hole here for the false nine to drop in, who is probably going to be this guy, but is waiting for the signal to drop in. We're overloading one side, creating the hole, and this guy's protecting in case we lose the ball. Right?
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
watch the next clip where the ball goes to the opponent's box. Let's go to the next clip. Okay, let's go to the next clip, number 3, and we are right here. Okay, now we're in the box. Now, you would think for a number 9, or
Yeah.
if Jesus playing number 9, where should Jesus be? He should be here,
Yeah.
right? But where's Jesus? He's still back here.
Yeah. At the
Why?
very least, he should be by the 18-yard box.
So he's waiting for counters.
Yeah.
Exactly. But look, we have these guys.
Did you have to pick the one Raheem did not score?
Right. Raheem is attacking the box. We have Foden, or is it Grealish and Gundogan attacking the box. But Jesus again is playing cover for the right back because he knows he's a young kid. This was against Sporting where we had no right back.
Yeah.
Which is why we think that Jesus' role is going to be this role right here. Let me just share my screen and we go back here. We think he's going to play that role to support either Egan Riley or Fernandinho. It will not be Mahrez.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see Mahrez wouldn't play that role effectively. He just doesn't have that type of mentality or awareness. So no, it makes perfect sense. I know you have Riley and Fernandinho as options there, and I know we won't know. There's no way of telling. But and I think you mentioned this, or maybe Patrick did, but I'm in full agreement for that to be Riley. Like, I would rather see a right back that thinks right back all day, all night in that role, as inexperienced at this level as they may be. I'd rather see him there.
Right.
I think instinctively he'd be a truer fit. And for him being so new, so young, I think he'd probably stand up more. I think he'd jockey. I think he'd just be in between of Junior as much as he could, as opposed to going in for some tackles.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not mad at that shout at all.
I mean, the key thing for
Adam says he's in the background.
Oh, he's in the background. Let me go pull him. I think the key for us really here is, let me stop sharing and we'll come back, is that we've seen this happen before. We saw this happen. We saw this happen just against Sporting. Right? It happened against Sporting. It's not a mistake. Okay? And when we looked at the guys online, again, we like to look at facts. We don't do this trolling stuff. We don't do that here. We look at the facts. We watch 15 hours of video against both teams. And what we saw was that the Sporting game with no Walker, Riley played, and he played well, kept things simple, and Jesus was helping him all the time, going back, supporting him, playing a deeper role, just like he did when we played Madrid in Santiago Bernabeu 2 seasons ago, helping Mendy on that side. Then when we got the goal, Pep changed it and pushed Jesus forward and brought in Sterling brought Sterling in, and now we attacked because we had the away goal. So now Madrid were on the back foot. Are you following me?
Yep.
This is, in our opinion, we think that's what's going to end up happening. We hope Walker starts. We're not sure. But ultimately, if Riley starts, Jesus is going to have to cover him. If Fernandinho starts at right back, Jesus is going to have to cover him. He's going to have 2 roles. And he's in sparkling form right now, Jesus, from the game we had on Saturday.
Have you guys watched the video of the training video? I was trying to watch it, but for some reason the website wouldn't allow me to watch it. Of the training, the live training that they did.
Yep. Welcome, Adam. Welcome, Adam. We have some comments here. Good evening, guys. Says Charlie. James says Fernando played 90 on Saturday. So he played 90 on Saturday. So which means that Egan Wright is probably going to start. And actually, I don't mind if he starts. It's time for these boys in the academy to grow up, right? Imagine if Riley starts and he does well in the Champions League against Real Madrid. His stock goes up.
That's what isn't that what I've been preaching for months? That sometimes, right? I get it. It's a risk, but when you are short somewhere and desperate, yes, I know Pep, and I have a feeling we might see somebody senior who a weird senior. He would rather go senior, but sometimes just give the kid. Yes, they'll get skinned, but it's part of life. Like, what else can you do? That's the reason why some of these kids, I said it multiple times, they had to be played in those cup games. If some of these kids were given an opportunity in those cup games, maybe we wouldn't be having conversations like this. Do you get my point?
Yeah, to Charlie's point, Charlie, I understand that it was Sporting, but the point is that Pep has done this before twice. Madrid away 2 years ago, Mendy was suspect. He played Jesus to cover for Mendy. He did the same thing again 3-4 weeks ago against Sporting. Used Jesus on the right to cover for Egan Riley. We don't have a right back. We may not have a right back.
There's a question for you, Carl. Charlie says, how can you compare Sporting with Real Madrid?
See, it's not the comparing the teams, it's the principle.
Yeah.
Again, coaches do not look at teams, they look at the principles. It's about repetition, it's about process, it's about repeating and repeating and repeating. If a coach has done it before in the past twice, he's more likely to do it again in the future. Are you following me? It's about repetition. He did it against Real Madrid at the Santo Bernabeu with Mendy. He did it against Sporting. I'm not comparing Sporting to Real Madrid. I'm not doing that. What I'm telling you is that when it comes to a foot race between Vinicius and Jesus, there's no winner there. Jesus beats him every time, right? And Jesus has the offensive capability to tackle their left back. So again,
are you sure about Vinicius, Carl?
Patrick, Vinicius is the most overrated player.
No, we're talking about the pace. Are you sure about the pace? Because the pace.
Yeah, but Patrick, no, Patrick. Carl has a point. Vinicius
on the planet.
Vinicius can be no talent, but the pace part, I beg, the pace. The pace.
Will he get the ball?
Huh? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's you can say that, but I'm talking about the pace where you say Jesus can overpace of Vinicius. No, Vinicius there's pace. There's pace.
So this whole idea about Sporting and Real Madrid, I'm not saying they're on the same level. What I'm saying is that Chelsea we're up 3-0 against these guys. And if not for the first leg and lack of control, they get through. Sheriff beat them 3-1 at home. Inter Milan beat them. Sevilla were up 2-0 against these guys until the referee got involved. Are you telling me that a team that's competing with Liverpool, that at 80 points and we still won the league, cannot control them? I think we need to back our team. I think
we are. I think we are backing our team. I think United Tonic is a Madrid fan. Yes, look, I'm with you. I'm with you on pace. I'm with you on pace, though. I'm with you on pace. But I get what Kao is saying. Kao is not trying to say Madrid is Sporting. It's about the principle or the style you go for. Because right now we're in a desperate situation, the same way we're in a desperate situation in both Sporting games. Obviously, he will use the same theory, but the only guy we have in our team, Raheem sometimes does it, but he has to be pushed. He has a mood to do it where he tracks back. But somebody who's guaranteed to be selfless. That's why he was name dropped by Pep in the conference, that he can even play any position. Because Jesus is willing to say, okay, I'm a striker. I don't want to start part today. I'm here to look after the midfield. I'm here to look after this young fullback. That's why that example has been given. That's the example that's been given. Yeah. Because most of you guys here, as Carl says, is you like going. I've watched a lot of YouTube. I have been on YouTube a lot of times watching people for the past 5 years. And I love the sound of my own voice. That's why I started my own channel. I'm joking. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is a lot of people just go for throwing and trying to throw. No, Kyle doesn't do throwing. He's
I don't
doing facts.
think so.
He's showing you facts. So what he's showing you is when we are desperate and there's a fullback who we think is weak, the same as Benjamin Mendy, Jesus is told not to go in front a lot, not to attack a lot. Jesus is very cautious what he does. Yes, Jesus will attack you if he sees you're being slow, like Varane, what he did to Varane. If he sees, oh, there's a bit of weakness here, he's going to attack you, but he's willing to run back and track back. Even if you watch the games where Jesus is helping somebody, what happens is, even when he's in front, when the other guy is already in front, Jesus starts running towards the middle to go and block this angle and stand here and help the fullback. So that's what it is. Adam, your mic is doing that Siberian thing.
Vader.
Yeah, well, I just and again, mostly it's for the chat. What's being broken down right now is just showing reactions of what the manager's done, showing strategic approach that the manager's taken in the past. So it's providing the rationale on how Pep may set this team up with regards to the injury issues that we have at our fullback position, as well as the suspension with regards to Cancelo. So this isn't being disrespectful to say, Real Madrid is sporting, or we don't need as strong of a defensive approach as we have in the past. No, it's just pointing out that in this case, here's how we can line up. And I want to just go back really quick. When we made the mention with regards to even defensive awareness and tracking back and position play, Sterling has done it. All right. Obviously, he's done it at a high level, but Jesus has done that at an even higher level. That is clear. And what I find is when Sterling is on Pep's side of the field, like Pep's manager box, and Sterling's on that side, he's a lot better of a tracker in doing the dog work, if you want to say. Jesus, regardless of what side of the pitch he's on, regardless of where Pep is in the manager box, Jesus is constantly doing it.
So Vader, again, for those watching online, and this guy who's a Madrid fan, see.
Can you put his comment up? Because look, we will talk to we're not gonna shy away from anybody's question. So put his comment up. I want to read his comment. Put his comment up because he seems like he's up.
The one that
it's a
you
good thing. And by the way, Carl, it's a good thing we've got a Madrid fan because now he's giving us his view.
Yeah, let me try to educate this guy. So first of all, Madrid fan, we're not saying that Madrid are on the good side, that Sporting Madrid. No, we're not saying that. So if that's what you're thinking about, then you shouldn't really be here, right? What we're trying to explain to you, and I hope you get an education from this, right, is that when you watch film and video, what you're looking for is, okay, what is the manager thinking by doing this? Look at what's happening here. This is against Sporting. But again, the principles, right? He plays Riley right here. He plays Jesus to cover. The halfway line is right here. Jesus normally is pressing up high, but he's staying back because the ball is here. When you lose the ball, you can counterattack in case they lose the ball. He's beyond the center half line. The other thing to notice, guy, is that normally Walker, to prevent the counterattack, is all the way down here, inverted. Because right now, see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The two fullbacks and the two center backs. We always invert one or the other, or two, to help control the counterattack. But both of them are sitting back. Why? Because this kid is inexperienced. So he wants to be able to manage any run that comes forward. And then Jesus is right here to help support him. Again, this is the ball in the center circle right here. When the ball moves to the left-hand side, right? Moving to the left-hand side, we still see this guy's not inverting all the way in. He's still keeping the shape. Jesus is still here. He's not pushing forward. And then when the ball gets in the 18-yard box, Jesus should be here in the box, but he's not. Guess where he is? He's held here, protecting this kid. This is exactly what he did against Real Madrid, where we beat you guys at 2-1 at the Bernabeu. Mendy was weak. Valverde was a threat. Jesus was asked to help cover the left back in case Mendy screwed up and he had cover.
Yeah,
it's the principle.
I think even what you're displaying right now, it's really important, obviously, for us to pinpoint how we may approach Real Madrid from a defensive standpoint. It'll be interesting for us, whether we're going to consume it or not, to hear how some of these Real Madrid fans believe they're going to be setting up to defend against us as well, because I think that's going to be a huge emphasis with regards to Manchester City and the pressure we're going to apply, because I'm going to assume that we're going to have possession like we tend to have, and we're going to look for our moments to attack. And I'm curious to how they plan on lining up defensively, because as you pointed out, Carl and Patrick, we are going to have the ability to. We have speed. So between Foden, Sterling, and Jesus, we do have some pace, and I'm curious how cautious they may be when they're coming to attack us.
There's a comment here by the guy from Madrid that Valverde and Camavinga is starting. This is all over Twitter and it's on Madrid News, and there's a channel, there's a tweet, a group on Twitter that always leaks out the rumors of who's starting. So logo. I'm gonna ask you, Carl.
Camavinga starts, man.
That's what I was about to ask you. That what's the thing? Do you think he wants a bit of speed and leg in there? Because Valverde and Camavinga, they bring a bit of energy.
If he puts Camavinga into the midfield, I like Camavinga. He's going to have energy, but he's going to get yellow cards. He will get yellow cards because he's a kid. Now,
even Casemiro as well, that Brazilian one. Not
imagine Camavinga playing against Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne. I mean, this guy's a kid who's coming in. I mean, the game that they played against Sevilla, and United Tonic will tell me this, right? He should have got in 2 yellows in like 3 minutes and got.
Yeah, he's agreeing with you. The Madrid fan is agreeing with you.
Yeah, Madrid fan, and I like that you're here because we talk facts here, and I enjoy this, right? You can't play Camavinga against De Bruyne. You have to play Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro against that. You have to do that. You have to counter-attack City in the wide areas, right? Play Vinicius and play Valverde outright or Rodrigo outright. Counter-attack them in the wide areas.
I heard
Benzema drop in and create those space like Kane does.
Is it the case too that on their end with regards to available players, Alaba is unavailable for this first leg? Is that true?
I don't know.
I think that's not true. I think he's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask the Madrid fan. He probably knows.
He says Casemiro is injured. I don't think so. I saw him. Wasn't he in training?
I think he's back. I know Militao was also.
Yeah, the Madrid fan said, yeah. He said Alaba's injured.
You're playing mind games.
Before we go to the matchups, and we'll talk about matchups in a minute about who to watch for, and Vader's going to help us with that. But I do think that the front three of Sterling, Jesus, and Foden is going to be key for us because we have to be fast. We cannot let Madrid rest on the ball. Okay, rest on the ball, right? You have to. What Chelsea did very well for 60 minutes is that they had very fast players in and around. You had Werner, you had Havertz, and they had one other guy. I can't remember who he was playing for them. Then you have Lukaku playing because Lukaku doesn't hold the ball well. You need that.
Was it Captain America?
No, Captain America came in later on. You know,
it was probably Mount.
You have to have that speed. Okay.
Oh, Mount was there. Yeah, Mount was there. He scored the first goal, didn't he?
It was Mount. Havertz.
Mount played as the number 10.
Yeah, Mount, Havertz, and Werner. That's speed. That's trickery. You have to have that. Okay. In the midfield, we have to have De Bruyne, Bernardo, and Rodri trying to dominate the midfield. Try to force them into mistakes. Madrid also concede goals from corners and from crosses. Now, unfortunately for us, we have midgets out there, so nobody's.
We don't. Yeah, we don't. Our best header might actually be Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah. No, but also with set pieces, you know what the issue? Our issue with set pieces is that we never beat the first man when it comes to corner. We never beat the first man. It always ends up going to the first man.
Yeah, I don't want to see Mahrez in this game tomorrow until later on. I just don't want to see him because.
Yeah, because it needs. Are you trying to say because the game needs energy?
The game needs energy.
I don't want him to start, but I wouldn't be mad seeing him at like the.
So basically, basically what we're looking at, Veta, right, is the same front three that played Liverpool and give pressure to that Liverpool backline.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if I saw Grealish start this game.
Yeah.
And I'd be very surprised to even see De Bruyne. I don't think it's happening, but I'd be surprised to see De Bruyne at false nine. Like, I don't expect it. So what? Don't be surprised
if Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Bernardo in this team. You know, Pep. He wants control.
I've got a question for you guys. What if, say, Pep ends up playing, say, what's his name, Gundogan instead of Fernandinho? You have Rodri, Fernandinho, and Bernardo Silva in the midfield.
Then we won't win that game.
No.
We won't win that game. I mean, if you're gonna put Camavinga with energy against Gundogan, it's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. What Bernardo Silva offers us in midfield is absolute bubblegum control. Right? He doesn't lose the ball. He doesn't lose the ball. And when he loses the ball, and don't forget that Bernardo Silva sometimes plays as a double number 6.
Yeah, and to that point, I think that might also be where he provides coverage if we do play O'Reilly as well. I think we may see Silva play a little deeper.
Cardoso, that's a yellow card. Cardoso, that's a yellow card. That's a yellow
That's
card.
a red.
Don't make me go to
That's a
VAR.
red
Don't make me go
card,
to
not
VAR.
yellow.
Straight red.
Yeah, I think
Straight
that
red.
it's to Vader's point, right? When you think about Bernardo and De Bruyne, okay? I mean, think about an American football adage. Think about the quarterback and the running back, right? So in American football, right, you have two guys who make plays, right? One is a quarterback who's able to throw the ball, boom, pinpoint for someone to catch and score a touchdown, okay? And many times, Vader, right, the quarterback gets intercepted, they lose the ball, and they get counterattack, correct? Right? But when they make those dynamic throws and it's a touchdown, guess what happens? It's like phenomenal. That's Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne is a quarterback who makes those dynamic passes.
Yeah, I see that.
The running back is a kind of player who the quarterback gives the ball to, and their job is to control. Get the ball 10 yards, get the ball 10 yards, get the ball 10 yards. That's what they do. Bernardo Silva is a running back. His job is to get the ball moving forward, win the ball, get it back. Kevin is that, poof, quarterback throw. So you have quarterback and running back, and you have Rodri, who's almost the blocker who really wins the ball and distributes the ball. If you have Gundogan there, Gundogan's not a running back, right? Using that same analogy, neither is the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not as good as Bernardo, and he's not as good as Kevin. So his role is kind of, against a Madrid side is going to be winning and running. I don't think Gundogan should start, in my opinion.
I hear that.
We're in trouble.
I think where we look at as we point out De Bruyne, Silva, Rodri. If we're gonna be fair, we're assessing team versus team. We have the edge within the midfield. As fantastic as Real Madrid are, right, with Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro, they're amazing. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I think if you were to look at those three versus our three in this day and age, we have the edge. I think the energy level we have, I think we match in quality. Having been to the semifinals last year, making it to our first final, I think knowing what the expectation is there with the players, the trust is there. So I think we have the edge in the midfield versus Real Madrid with regards to how we approach and attack each other.
We're going to have to be disciplined, especially in the fullback areas with either Ake. That's why I prefer Ake over Zinchenko, because of the discipline. And also the right back, if we have that Jesus playing that double role, we're going to have to be really, really disciplined in what we do. Patrick, remember that game against United that Jesus was playing that half role and he got us a penalty? Remember that one, that United game? You remember that?
Say that again?
Do you remember the game we played against United 2 seasons ago where it was 2-0 to United, they beat us, and Jesus gave away a penalty? Remember that? Right? Yeah. You know why? Because he asked to play that role as well on that right side.
Yeah, he was asked to track back, and I felt sorry for him. But let's just take this away from Madrid for a minute. That's another thing, City fans. Some of the City fans who keep attacking this young player. He's a talented player, right? But he's selfless. If, as Carl said, if he was a selfish MF or a selfish whatever, a selfish guy like what you're supposed to be as a striker, he would be what? He would be selfish and say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to stay in the front. But he's selfless, and that's the reason why some of you guys who are stud padders who say he doesn't have enough goals, that's why he doesn't have enough goals, because he's willing to track back for the team. While if you see strikers, have you seen Kao and Veta and Adam? Some of the strikers, they'll track back, but do you know where they stop? They stop right on the halfway line, waiting for a counter. You know what I mean? Then even Antonio tracks back and just stands on the halfway line. That's how far he goes. He doesn't go because he's selfish. He's looking for a counter and a goal. So look, hopefully tomorrow he does the job very well. And go ahead, take it away, Veta.
So I'll go to Vader. It's one comment that goes to Vader. United team says, I think if Pep plays his subs right, it might be really tough to adapt. Usually we bring on Camavinga and Rodrigo, and they bring energy against tight players. Yeah, just Rodrigo off. So we'll see what happens. Listen, if we don't win the game, United Tony, I hope you guys go and win a Champions League, because we don't want those guys, those fraudsters across the river win it, because we don't. Seriously, if we don't win it against you guys go win it. Number 14, because we don't want those guys that the media loves and the referees cheat for to go win it, because it's just it's a shambles. But over to you, Vader.
I think everyone, as they watch the game, whether you're a neutral Manchester City fan or rival, right? I think really the key, one of the big things you're going to want to pay attention to, and it would be amazing if there were lock-on cameras and you can just assign lock-on camera on Benzema, lock-on camera on Rodri. If we had that ability as fans and be able to watch the match that happens, it would be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be very interested to see the energy level and the attention that Rodri pays while he's out there on the field, especially from a defensive standpoint. I think that no one can be turned off for a second. No one can have a lapse of judgment because this game is going to be so important. So when we have Diaz controlling that back line, making sure everyone is in the proper positions, communicating well, I think that's also going to spill over to Rodri. And hopefully the instructions are coming from Diaz, because he's able to see the entire field and convey what needs to be done. But Rodri is going to be, I believe, that chess piece to have to negate what Benzema may try and do, like we talked about earlier, dropping deeper into the midfield to collect the ball and maybe springing the guys on the wing. I think Rodri's going to play a key role in that. And if he's dialed in, if he's recycling the pace, the ball when we're on offense, keeping things flowing, amazing. If he's also able to be dialed in defensively, it's going to be a long day for Real Madrid.
Yeah, just want to talk about some matchups. And we talked about this earlier on. We think that there's going to be some key matchups that will determine where this game goes. Valverde or Rodrigo versus Ake. So either Valverde or Rodrigo. And United Tonic, let us know, is going to start on that right side. So it's one of those two. We think Ake is going to start. We're thinking Vini Jr. versus either Jesus and Egan Riley or Fernandinho is going to be the key on the other side. Benzema, again, the way Benzema scored his goals against Chelsea was from deep, because Jorginho and Kante didn't track him. They left him alone. And so Rodri and Diaz are going to have to watch that guy from deep.
Yeah.
Right? And make sure they cut off that supply to him and from him. And then in the midfield, Kroos, Modric, Valverde or Casemiro versus De Bruyne, Bernardo, and Foden is going to be key. Foden is going to be the false nine. He's going to drop in and drop out, right?
Yeah.
To make an extra man. And then the one I'm looking forward to is Sterling versus Carvajal. That's going to be on the left side. That's going to be.
You know what else I'm looking forward to?
Last time he came in and skinned him, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what else I'm looking forward to? Sterling versus that useless, bang average defender, that Brazilian one, that Militao, that people always overhype. I seriously have something against that Militao. I don't see what people see in him. He's overhyped.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are there rumors about Sterling going to Real Madrid?
No, it was AC Milan that I saw. Apparently AC Milan, they want it, but I don't know how true the rumors are.
There's also rumors about Mahrez, AC Milan. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. That's actually good, because our players turn up when there's a lot of transfer rumors.
You're talking about the Jesus when you said you're going to Arsenal. The Jesus Arsenal and the fire is not dropping. The fire is still, even right now as we speak, it's all over Facebook.
Yeah, I think Nigel, to your point, I think Sterling starts. I think he starts on the left. I think Sterling versus Carvajal is going to be a matchup pace and trickery versus Carvajal struggles and he's older, so that may be a challenge. I mean, Charlie, Gundogan, I don't want to see Gundogan in this game. I just don't want to see it in this game.
And shout out to Saint LFC TV. It was such a good brother, man. Shout out to you, man. And I did a preview for him for the FA Cup game. He was actually looking for. Apparently, he found me very he said very humble and very tame. So he was looking for a fiery City fan. So I said, I'm gonna get you, Carl. He says for the next preview, he's looking for somebody who will go toe to toe with him. I was like, well, okay, if you want somebody toe to toe, I'll get you, Carl. Carl will go toe to toe with you.
Tyson Fury
So,
and Dylan White.
No, I mean, I mean, this is the point about who's going to play right. He thinks Valverde is going to play right. I won't be surprised because Valverde played in the game I played at the Etihad 2 years ago on the right side. He was the one that crossed the ball for Benzema to score because Cancelo didn't track him, right? Again, guys, we watch all the clips. We spent 15 hours watching all the games, right? So every single tactical move that both teams have made, we've documented them here for the past 1 hour on this show. We talked about what we think is going to happen at right back. We talked about who's going to play left back. We talked about what Madrid is going to do. We talked about what we learned from the Sporting game. We talked about what Madrid did against Chelsea, about strengths and weaknesses. It's going to be a great game overall. This is why we enjoy the Champions League, because there are two strong teams in the semifinal, and they're going to go for it. We just hope that if we don't win, Madrid guys, if you don't win, please go win it, because we cannot bear the thoughts.
Oh, you don't want the 70 minutes. Yeah, I think Foden starts in place of Raheem. No, we have Foden. We have Foden as a false nine and Raheem at the left, and then Jesus at the right hand side. So they're all in the team. They're all in the team that was made.
Yeah,
sure. And in all fairness, Sterling and Foden may be interchangeable throughout the game, right? Like Pep
these guys
may look and see.
All three of them, to be honest, if they fail, all three of them will just change.
I think what you end up seeing, Patrick, is that these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, will end up interchanging all the way through.
Yeah, there's a question for you here. There's a question for you here. There's a question, Carl. Do you think either John Stones or Walker will feature by Centurion's 100 points?
We don't know. We do not know. We have no idea. Based on what we see and we hear, and based on Pep's track record, we don't think so. They didn't train. I think Pep will just have trusted the plan that he has. He won't do any last minute kind of thing. It depends on if they're fit or not, you know.
Look, I'm pretty sure for the past week they have known that maybe these guys might not be fit, so they have been training in preparation without those guys in the lineup. So I'm pretty sure they will find. Look, for me, CJ, I'd rather CJ or Egan be the one at right back. That's for me. I believe that sometimes when you're stuck, just throw one of the kids, let them be crucified by fire, as you call it. Let them do it.
The key here, guys, I mean, in wrapping up the show, guys, right, we're trying to solve the problem of the right back, right? The left back, not so much, because Ake can do it. Ake did play Salah and he did well. So we know he can handle, for the most part, anybody who comes his way. And he's a defender, right? He plays for Holland. He's a good guy, right? We got him for a reason, right? We think that the issue that we have, we're trying to cover for, is just a right back issue. We think the solution, and we may be wrong, it's fine. Pep may do a madness and do whatever, right? Is the fact that Jesus plays this half role, where Jesus has been asked to cover for the right back, but also play this kind of withdrawn role like he did against Madrid in Madrid when Mendy was struggling 2 years ago, right? Where he played this role to help cover the defense with his speed, but also launch the attack towards the front line. That's what we think is going to happen. And then after a while, if he's tired after 60 minutes, then bring in Mahrez. If everybody's then tired, then Mahrez can come in and do what he needs to do and control the game with De Bruyne and Bernardo and Rodri. So we think that's what's going to end up happening, guys, at least. But Patrick, over to you to wrap it up.
Look, there's thank you guys in the comments. The key for Real Madrid will be Vini to cook against the handicap City defense. Look, if Vini shows up, if he's ready to show up, that would be great. Walker hasn't trained in 15 days and Stones hasn't trained since Brighton. Yeah, but you never know. Maybe they're training in the background. I would love, as a City fan, for this to just be a mind game. I would love Walker just to show up and people are like, whoa. Remember when Raheem was rumored that he's injured and then Mourinho said, I don't think he's injured, and Raheem showed up in the Spurs game from nowhere where we didn't even see any pictures. I hope that happens. Our strength tomorrow depends on our attack. I see City versus Monaco 2.0. I would like that. I would like maybe us for us to just say, you know what, screw this. We'll just go toe-to-toe. You know what I mean? Screw this. Let's just go toe-to-toe and see how it gets on. Peter, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this first leg might be a little cautious just because of the health factor. But it wouldn't surprise me, because we are playing at home. And you alluded to this, Patrick, that there might be a little bit of a mind game. Players may be a little fitter than how they're being presented because they're home. They could still be training, just not in front of the cameras like like it would typically do. And they're not traveling. So if they were traveling, they'd be on the plane. There'd be a lot of coverage seeing who's traveled. So it's going to be interesting to
Wait,
see who
the
plays.
secret will come out on the travel. Remember the travel thing? It's a must. Whether you like it or not, somebody will show up when you travel.
Exactly.
So go ahead.
Exactly. So I think this whoever plays, I think it is going to be a cautious first leg. And again, because there's no away goals. So if it's a cautious start to actually play a stronger team on the second leg, which would be an approach that Pep, quote unquote, hasn't really shown in the past. It's typically been, I'm going out, I'm playing my style of football. So if it's a little more of a pragmatic approach, I wouldn't be mad at that. And then the matchups, and I know people are dismissing Sterling, like they would love for him to start. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for with regards to big game Sterling and big game Foden.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. I have another show I have to go to, but this has been fun. Again, on the show here with True City Fan, Vader Gamers, and myself, we don't like trolling. Okay, it's once in a while, I guess it's fine. But we go into the facts. We go into video. We spend a lot of time, guys, reviewing video. We talk about player transfers. We don't just talk. We actually try to back it up with facts and with reasoning and with thinking and with our cerebral cortex. We really want to get into the meat of it and ask questions why. So if you want more of that, subscribe to Vader Games TV on Twitter. If you want more of that, True City Fan TV, subscribe to him, and also subscribe to me at Pitch Points. We're here for you guys. We enjoy doing this. Until next time, Patrick, Vader.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everybody in the comments. And Madrid fan, don't just be watching, subscribe to the channel. Let me see you guys.
God bless. Bye.